Hey everyone, and welcome back to another explainer. Today, we're diving into something absolutely mind-bending. We are looking at literally the biggest, most ambitious structure humanity could ever potentially build. I mean, we're talking about a concept that totally stretches the very limits of engineering, physics, and honestly, human imagination. So let's jump right in.
I want you to imagine a future where humanity never, ever has to worry about energy again. Just picture a utopian reality where electricity shortages, global fuel crises, and those annoying power bills simply don't exist. Now, it sounds like pure science fiction, right? But here's the crazy thing. The math and the physics say it's actually completely possible. Think about it. If we finally solved the energy equation, every single city on Earth would run on unlimited 100% clean energy. Stuff like artificial intelligence systems, which right now demand these massive power-hungry grids, well, they could scale up thousands of times without draining our planet's resources. And with that kind of incredible power, humanity wouldn't just be stuck here on Earth. We could effortlessly expand across the entire solar system. All of these incredible, world-changing benefits are on the table. But how do we actually pull that off?
Well, the secret to this unlimited future relies on a concept scientists have been thinking about for decades. It requires a single colossal megastructure built completely around the sun. If humanity ever actually manages to pull this off, it wouldn't just solve all our energy problems, it would, without a doubt, be the greatest engineering achievement in the history of our species.
But you knew there was a but coming, right? There is one absolutely shocking problem standing in our way. The sheer scale of this project is so terrifyingly huge that to actually get enough materials to build it, we might literally have to dismantle an entire planet. Yeah, just let that sink in for a second. We'll get into the insane logistics of planetary disassembly in a minute, but first, we really need to understand the mind-boggling scale of the power we're chasing here.
Part 1. The ultimate energy solution.
Okay, so we need to take a step back and really look at the giant cosmic power plant we live right next to. Just think about this stark contrast for a moment. The sun produces more energy in just 60 minutes than our entire human civilization uses in an entire year. Every single second, the sun releases an unfathomable amount of energy. And yet, sitting down here on Earth, we only capture a tiny microscopic fraction of it. The rest, it just shoots off into the void and is completely wasted in space. So, what if we could catch it? All of it?
This exact question brings us back to 1960. A physicist named Freeman Dyson proposed this wild, fascinating idea. He suggested that if a civilization gets advanced enough, they're going to inevitably realize they are completely wasting their star's potential. So his idea was that they would surround their star with energy collectors, not to block the light out, but to harvest its raw, untapped energy. Now, when he first proposed this, people thought it was just science fiction, but the closer scientists looked at the actual math, the more this thought experiment started looking like a legitimate blueprint for our future.
So, let's get our definitions straight here. A Dyson Sphere is a hypothetical megastructure that completely encompasses a star to capture its enormous power output. That's the strict scientific definition anyway. But if you've heard of this from sci-fi movies or video games, there's a really good chance you're actually picturing it completely wrong.
So let's talk about the real Dyson Sphere.
We really need to debunk this super popular myth about what a Dyson Sphere would look like in the real world. The myth is that it's this giant solid metal shell surrounding the sun, kind of like a massive ping pong ball. But physics absolutely hates that idea. A solid shell would be incredibly unstable. A tiny shift, just a slight gravitational nudge, and that entire multi-trillion-ton structure would drift and eventually crash right into the sun. Not good. So the reality is what scientists call a Dyson swarm. Instead of one big hollow ball, imagine billions of individual satellites, billions of massive solar collectors all orbiting the sun in this perfectly coordinated, beautiful dance. It's millions of individual structures working together to create a giant energy web around our star.
Which brings us to a world without limits. If we actually manage to build this swarm, we are entering a totally new era. Because when you think about it, a lot of humanity's biggest existential crises are really just energy problems wearing a disguise. Water shortages? Well, with unlimited power, we could run massive desalination plants to instantly turn ocean water into clean drinking water. Boom, problem solved. Food shortages? We could power enormous high-tech indoor agriculture facilities anywhere on the planet. Our entire global transportation network could run 100% clean, and AI systems could be powered at levels that seem practically impossible to us right now. A Dyson swarm doesn't just give us electricity, it completely removes the major bottlenecks to human survival.
But let's get into the shocking construction cost.
Because, obviously, there is a massive catch here.
Building the biggest structure in the solar system comes with a brutal, awe-inspiring reality check when it comes to materials. We're talking about needing far more metal than humanity has ever mined in our entire history. Step 1 would probably involve mining asteroids just to get the initial resources to build the automated mining machines. But Step 2? Step 2 is where things get genuinely insane. We would literally have to dismantle an entire planet. Scientists usually point to Mercury as the prime candidate here. We would systematically take Mercury apart chunk by massive chunk and use that planetary debris for Step 3, forging the trillions of solar collectors we need for the swarm. I know, it sounds absolutely unhinged, but on a cosmic timeline, it's actually completely practical.
And that leads us to the road to the stars.
Because if we're actually willing to pay that planetary price, it completely opens up the universe to us. The main reason interstellar travel is so incredibly hard right now is just energy. Traveling to another star system requires an amount of power that we simply cannot generate here on Earth. But a Dyson Swarm, it could act as the ultimate cosmic fueling station. It could beam enormous amounts of power directly to massive spacecraft, like generation ships, for deep space interstellar missions. Building this swarm is the exact stepping stone we need. For the very first time in history, we would graduate. We'd stop being just a planetary civilization and truly become an interstellar one.
Which naturally brings us to searching for alien architects.
Now, here is where things pivot from our own distant future to the mind-bending reality of right now. We aren't just theorizing about building these structures. Astronomers are actively looking for them today. We're searching the universe not for human Dyson spheres, but for alien ones. Think about it. If an advanced civilization built a swarm around their star, they'd leave massive, detectable clues in the cosmos. Scientists look for stars that appear highly unusual. They look for unexplained, dramatic dips in a star's brightness as the swarm orbits around it and blocks the light. They also scan for altered infrared heat signatures radiating off those alien solar collectors. Just think about how profound that is. The first evidence of alien intelligence might not be a radio message saying, "Hello." It might be our telescopes catching the shadows of an alien megastructure. And if we find that, everything we know about our place in the universe changes forever.
To wrap up this explainer, I really want you to imagine standing on Earth, maybe 1,000, maybe 5,000 years from now. You look up at the sky, knowing that surrounding our star are billions of human-built structures. They're out there silently collecting energy, powering sprawling cities, fueling spacecraft, and supporting human civilizations across multiple different worlds. The sun wouldn't just be a burning ball of gas in the sky anymore. It would literally be humanity's greatest machine, and honestly, perhaps our ultimate achievement as a species. A true symbol of a civilization that is no longer limited by the resources of a single fragile rock.
So I'm going to leave you with this final, provocative question to think about. If humanity finally unlocked the technology and the automation required, would you actually support dismantling an entire planet to build a Dyson sphere? Or do you think the cosmic risks of engineering on a stellar scale are just way too great? It's a massive question about the ultimate limits of human ambition. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope this sparked your curiosity, and I will see you next time as we continue to break down the most fascinating concepts in our universe.